So this is our weather station. This is one of the 3 devices that we have, that we use in our project. Awesome, thanks. So it's an all-in-one, affordable device that collects information on wind, speed, direction, solar radiation, rain, temperature, pressure, humidity, and transmits this information real-time wirelessly using various different protocols to the cloud, to our infrastructure, and we use this data to produce better forecasts. And so everyone who has one of those weather stations, they also have access to our mobile app, and you can also download the app and use it, and you can benefit from the forecasts. But this app was basically designed for the station owners because it gives them access to their own data, to the forecasts, the custom forecasts that have been produced for them based on the data of the station, as well as the rewards. So there's a crypto incentive, and that's how we build the network. And we have shipped a ton of hardware. We have right now 9,600 weather stations all around the world in 98 countries that were deployed by almost 6,000 individuals. So this is a real community of real people. You cannot have bots here. You cannot have, we tried really hard not to have like one company that is doing all the deployments. And you can go to our Explorer, and you can see all the data, all the weather station data live. You can click anywhere. You can see the historical data. You can see the rewards of those stations. The quality of the data, because we put a lot of effort into making sure that we don't have any problematic stations, and those stations are not rewarded, so users have an incentive to make sure the stations were correct. And we have created a number of novel techniques to identify problematic stations by looking at the time series data, including cryptographic proofs from the hardware modifications that we've done, because this is our own hardware. Now, the way that we monetize all this data is by selling to enterprises. So we have a B2B portal, pro.weatherxm.com, and in there, companies that want to use this data connect through our API. They get historical and real-time data, but most importantly, they get analytics on forecasts. And this is something quite novel that doesn't exist anywhere else. There's no other company that is offering this as a service. And so what we do is we use our stations as ground truth, and we aggregate third-party forecasts, other companies' forecasts, other models, and we evaluate the accuracy of the forecasts using our stations. So we do this in the public, so you can connect to this website with a free account. You can see everything, basically. And this way, we immediately provide value to our customers by telling them what to expect at any location on Earth in terms of forecast accuracy for every variable, for every day ahead. And at the same time, we use these insights to produce our own forecasts, and that's how we managed to become one of the best forecasting companies in our network, with huge differences based on in comparison to the biggest companies in the world. So that's basically our unique value proposition. We sell direct to consumers those weather stations, which are a nice gadget to connect to your smart home, or if you're a weather enthusiast, you can see a lot of information on your phone. But at the same time, we sell to businesses premium advanced weather services and data, forecast trained data, the forecast accuracy analytics, and most importantly, the ability to expand the network to the areas that our customers desire. Now, that's super important because it's super difficult. We have lots of customers, big companies from the energy space, marine ports, motorways, insurance, universities, big meteorological organizations. So I think we are in a good spot in terms of the demand side. And this is all made possible because of this DePIN economic model. Basically, we have a token, we incentivize the station owners for the data contribution, and we ask our customers to pay us in our token. Of course, that's not usually happening, but we have an association and a company. So our company buys the data licenses from the association, from the DAO. So essentially, we act as a middleman between the customers and the association, and we sell services in fiat, and we buy licenses in our token. We've raised 13 million from institutional investors, and I was listening to Tom's presentation in the morning, and he has some very nice KPIs on successful DePIN executions and other projects. And Tom, I would love if you add this one in your slides as well. So this is the way that I analyze how efficient the DePIN approach is for WeatherXM specifically. So considering that we raised 13 million and we have 10,000, 9,000 weather stations live around the world, if you divide those numbers, it means that the average cost per station was $1.3 thousand. So if we were a company or a project that was trying to deploy weather infrastructure, that means we are 90 times more efficient than the government, NOAA, as per their own figures in their own budget, because for them it costs $120,000 to deploy a new weather station. Now, we don't only do that though, we also do forecast services. And in the majority of our network, we are more accurate, or at least as accurate as NOAA, in the locations that we have stations. Now, NOAA has a separate budget for that, which is in the range of 1.3 billion. So again, if we were to assume that everything we did in this project was to produce better forecasts, we managed to produce better forecasts 100 times cheaper, basically. And in addition to this, we have reached in 98 countries, which is like really hard. The data are open, so they're public good, essentially, because we give everything. We make everything public. We just have a dual license approach, so if you commercialize on the data, you have to pay us. And because we have the cryptographic proofs and the data integrity, and we use the Filecoin infrastructure, we unlock new services in new markets, like parametric weather insurance. And that's a big deal. Like, there's a lot of losses around the world in multiple industries because of inaccurate weather forecasts. So this is what we're trying to fix. And we are constantly experimenting with a bunch of crazy things, trying to find ways to expand the network in a sustainable way. We are acting as an oracle in prediction markets. We are experimenting with AI agents and MCP and X402. We're going to launch in the next few months weather protection services. We're spinning out a new company that will have a license to do that. And the last part, which is what I wanted to unpack a little bit more, is our effort to subsidize the cost of hardware and deploy stations for free, like give stations for free to developing countries that don't have infrastructure, and pass the rewards back to the people who paid for the hardware. We call this targeted rollouts, and essentially it's a marketplace. In my point of view, it has similarities to Gitcoin, but it's for hardware, for DePIN projects. And when it's successful, it's a win-win for everyone. So we ran this campaign last year in Swissborg, which is actually on the Solana ecosystem, even though our rewards are on Arbitrum, so we want to participate everywhere we can. And from the supporters, from the people who were providing the funding, this is how the whole thing looked like. Basically, it was a mobile app, and then they were buying some NFTs. And this money was used to manufacture hardware. And the result basically was we raised $600,000, which converts in more than 2,000 weather stations that we distributed across 11 countries. And today, we have a very big network in Kenya, in South Africa, in India, and some places in Latin America. And so, as I mentioned before, this is like a win-win for everyone, because local economies, farmers, people in those places that don't have weather infrastructure benefit directly. The deployers themselves get some of the token rewards, but at the same time, the people who funded this project in the first place, they get the majority of the rewards. And we're doing it again now. We have an active campaign right now. This time we added some art, so every NFT has a different collectible beaver. And this time we took over the entire infrastructure. So we are doing it as on a DApp, on our website, and we're doing the distribution as well. So we're not taking advantage of an existing ecosystem on a centralized exchange or any NFT marketplaces and so on, because we couldn't find a place to satisfy basically our requirements. And I strongly believe there should be something like that, a DePIN marketplace, DePIN. I call it, last year I used to call it Gitcoin for DePIN. Now I stopped using that word. But yeah, I think there should be a place that we can organize, coordinate rollouts of hardware. You can find out more in rollouts.weatherxm.com. And thank you, everyone.
Great.